Hey, boys and girls. Okay, I have been messing with my iPad, and hopefully this will work. I've tried to read this to you 5 times, and it keeps cutting me off. So hopefully this time it will work. So today we are reading a fiction book called Jalapeño Bagels. We'll also read a book tomorrow. I'm going to read it to you actually. Now, this book today, Jalapeno Bagels, is realistic fiction. This means that the book did not necessarily happen, but is definitely a scenario that could happen. It's about this young boy and his parents who own a bakery. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to read the book to you, and then I'm going to ask you some questions at the end, and it shouldn't be too bad. It's a really cool little story, and some of you guys might be able to identify with it. I'm not really sure. But we will go ahead and read this. Okay, so Jalapeno Bagels by Natasha Wing, illustrated by Robert Casilla. And boys and girls, I know some of you Hispanic children out there are going to make fun of me the way I say some of these Spanish words, but I'm doing the best that I possibly can, I promise you. So just bear with me. Okay, here's the first page. There's his family. Okay. What should I bring to school on Monday for International Day? I asked my mother. My teacher told us to bring something from our culture. You can bring a treat from the panaderia, she suggests. Panaderia is what Mama calls our bakery. Help us bake on Sunday, then you can pick out whatever you want. It's a deal, I tell her. I like helping at the bakery. It's warm there and everything smells so good. Early Sunday morning, when it is still dark, my mother wakes me up. Pablo, it's time to go to work, she says. We walk down the street to the bakery. My father turns on the lights. My mother turns on the ovens. She gets out the pans and ingredients for pan dulce. Pan dulce is Mexican sweetbread. I help my mother mix and knead the dough. She shapes rolls and loaves of bread and slides them into the oven. People tell her she makes the best pan dulce in town. Maybe I'll bring pan dulce to school, I tell her. So there they are kneading the dough, working together as a team. And here she is putting it in the oven, and he's still putting the filling in there. Next, we make empanadas de calabaza, pumpkin turnovers. I'm in charge of spooning the pumpkin filling. Mama folds the dough in half and presses the edges with a fork. She bakes them until they are flaky and golden brown. Some customers come to our bakery just for her turnovers. There he is putting some chocolate chips in. Maybe I'll bring empanadas de calabaza instead. You'll figure it out, she says. Ready to make chango bars? Chango means monkey man. Mama lets me pour in chocolate chips and nuts. While she's not looking, I pour in more chocolate chips. I could bring chango bars. They're my favorite dessert. Mine too, says Mama. This batch should be especially good. I put in extra chips. My father calls from the back room. Pablo, come help me with the bagels. Papa speaks English and Yiddish. He learned Yiddish from his family in New York City. I know some words too. Bube means grandmother. He uses my Bube's recipe to make the bagels. First he makes the dough in a big metal bowl. Then he rolls it out into a long rope shape. He cuts off pieces and shows me how to connect the ends in a circle. We put the circles on trays where they sit and rise. They are making the bagels. You can see them in the tube shape, and then they make bagels into like a wheel shape. While we're waiting, my father makes challah, Jewish braided bread. He lets me practice braiding, it's actually challah dough, at my own counter. It's a lot like braiding hair. The customers say it is almost too beautiful to eat. Maybe I'll bring a loaf of challah to school, I tell Papa. He smiles. When the bagel dough has risen, he boils the bagels in a huge pot of water and fishes them out with a long slotted spoon. I sprinkle on poppy seeds and sesame seeds, and then they go in the oven. Maybe I could bring sesame seed bagels with cream cheese. No lox? Lox is smoked salmon. My father's favorite bagel is pumpernickel with a smear of cream cheese and lox. I crinkle my nose. Lox taste like fish. Jam is better. You can see his face. Not a big fan of lox. My mother joins us and helps my father make another batch of bagels, jalapeno bagels. My parents use their own special recipe. While Papa kneads the dough, Mama chops the jalapeno chiles. She tosses them into the dough and adds dried red peppers. We roll, cut, make circles, and let them rise. I can't wait until they are done because I am getting hungry. And there they all three working together to make these bagels. Really cool little team effort they got going on. So here's everything. There's their bakery, and they're sitting there waiting on customers. Have you decided what you're going to bring to school? Asked Mama. It's hard to choose. Everything is so good, I tell her. I look at Papa, except for lox. You should decide before we open, warns Mama, or else our customers will buy everything up. I walk past all the sweetbreads, chango bars, and bagels. I think about my mother and my father and all the different things they make in the bakery. Here he is with a bag of bagels. And suddenly I know exactly what I'm going to bring. Jalapeno bagels, I tell my parents, and I'll spread them with cream cheese and jam. Why jalapeno bagels? Asked Papa. Because they are a mixture of both of you, just like me. And that's the end of the story. So there's the chango bar recipe if you want to make some chango bars at home. Okay. And here is the jalapeno bagel recipe, which I'm sure would be very challenging. I definitely couldn't do it. Okay. So I'm going to ask you some questions on the Google Doc. And there's the International Day right there. And he is sharing his bagels, all his friends. And really cool little thing to do. All right. So get ready for a Google Doc. I'm also going to add the video of someone else reading the book as well, but it doesn't show the words. It just shows pictures. Okay? Have a good day, guys.